Denny's, done right no matter your appetite. Come in before Halloween for scary good meal deals. Blueberry pancakes and haunted hash browns half price this month, only at Denny's.
Happy Halloween.
Welcome back to Horrific History. This week, we begin in December 1610, Hungary. Our story begins as King Matthias asks Count Georgi Thurzo to pay a visit to the Cheti Castle, made of grand white stone situated on a high-wooded hill in today's Slovakia. Nothing could have prepared the Count for his gruesome discovery upon his visit to the castle.
On December 26, 1610, he recounted in a personal letter that he saw a young girl was lying dead on the ground, another girl was dying, and a third young lady was severely wounded. 3 servant girls stood by holding archaic instruments of torture, while in the center of it all, the culprit, Countess Elizabeth Báthory. She was a child sick with untreated epilepsy and suffered fits of rage and violence due to unbearable migraines. Although she received an outstanding education for her time, it is rumored her uncle and aunt taught her to practice Satanism. At 11 years old, she was engaged to her husband, 16-year-old Ferenc, who was famous for disemboweling his Turkish enemies and torturing them endlessly. They moved into Cheti Castle together after their marriage. They seemed like a match made in hell. In the following years, the Countess regularly liked to bite out pieces of flesh from her servant girls or stick needles under their fingernails before cutting off the digits of those who tried to remove the needles. Some of Báthory's other greatest hits included forcing victims to cook and eat their own flesh, forcing them to stand in buckets of ice outside until they froze to death, starvation, poisoning, and on one occasion, having a gypsy man sewn up into the belly of a dead horse. She was also partial to bathing and drinking the blood of the young girls she exsanguinated.
Elizabeth and their 5 children were said to be a family with deep history of madness. But some of the alleged insanities, temper tantrums, swordplay in the house, or an unusual allegiance to a particular chair were also typical of their aristocratic eccentricities.
In all, Elizabeth Báthory claimed the lives of anywhere between 200 and 600 victims, her servants stating that only God knows an account of all of her crimes. Báthory was sentenced to house arrest for the rest of her life, while her 3 accomplices were executed immediately. The fate of Elizabeth's eldest daughter Anna, who was rumored to be an accomplice of hers as well, is unknown. The Countess spent the remainder of her days bricked in her castle with only a small slit for air and food. She only lasted 4 years. On August 22, 1614, she was found dead in her prison cell the morning after complaining of bad circulation. Upon her death, Parliament declared her name never be spoken in high society again. She was buried in the church at Cathedral, yet her body was moved soon afterwards when villagers protested having the cursed Countess of Blood in their cemetery. Her final resting place was an undisclosed spot in her family crypt in the castle where she was born.
To this day, historians have not been able to uncover the infamous lady's remains. The cursed Countess lives on in legend as the most prolific female serial killer of all time. Special thanks to infamouslady.com and Blumhouse for providing gruesome details, and thank you all for listening to this week's Horrific History. We'll be with you again next week. From scenic tours on the Danube River to bustling nightlife in Budapest, you will find exactly what you're looking for in a getaway. Visit Hungary today and satisfy your curiosity. Go to purehungary.com for booking details.